You're listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCZW LP Conroe and 106.1 KZCC LP Conroe and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
Hello and welcome to the Ticket Stub. Connor, Dick, and Chris here in studio. We are pre-recording this episode, but it is playing live on FM 104.5 and 106.1 in the Conroe area. Also, you can listen worldwide on irlonestar.com. If you go to irlonestar.com/TTS, you can find out how to link to all of our social media, our Twitter, our Facebook. Also, make sure you're liking and subscribing to our podcast feed and sharing it with a friend, because the more we grow each and every week, we're doing more and more fun stuff. We're getting more and more special guests. So, Chris, we don't want to waste any time today. Want to hand it straight over to you to talk about who we have in studio.
Yeah,
that's lame. What? We didn't even say good afternoon or anything.
Dick, this is not about you, okay?
There's 3 hosts to the show.
Okay, Dick, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. I'm glad to be here. I'm really excited about today's show.
Thanks, buddy.
Chris, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, so we'll go ahead and start.
There we go.
Okay.
All right.
Excellent. All right. Our guest today, we're super excited. He's a reporter and anchor for KPRC Channel 2 in Houston, as well as the grandson of Hollywood legend Carl Reiner, and the son of equally Hollywood. I can't even get through this.
Yeah,
this is terrible.
Man, you're excited,
but
buddy.
Equally
it's okay.
legendary film director and actor Rob Reiner. Jake Reiner is here.
Hey, Jake.
How's it going, guys? I'm also
first...
happy to be here.
Yes.
Hey.
Thank you for asking.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. I got to be courteous to our guests here and to each other.
Dick, you're being hostile right now. Okay?
You're being a real...
Well, he's our first guest that has his own IMDb page.
Wow.
So
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
Well,
No,
we
he's
actually
not. No,
Chris,
we had Nick.
We had Nick Howard, who's
He's
special effects.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
First
But as
actor.
an actor.
Yeah, there we go.
As an actor,
I have
yes.
a couple credits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we Jake, glad to have you. We do want to make sure we say special thanks to KPRC, right?
Yes. Yeah. Special thank you to them for letting you come out. It's super great.
I heard
that they're able to do
I heard
that,
they're
so.
paying you to be here.
They're not.
They're not?
No, they're not.
So why are we
This is
thanking them? Why are we giving free plugs?
Because they're helping out by letting him come on.
I got permission.
Yeah.
Really?
Dick, we said we were going to do
You
all
had
this.
to ask permission to be on this?
Dick, we said we were going to do all this stuff. What are you doing right now? All right, so what we're going to start. We're going to hop right into the interview.
No,
right?
we are. The
Okay.
first 2 things weren't a train wreck for me. I'm sorry. I've never. It's just very exciting.
You look
for
great,
me.
though. The suit's great.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh, he always wears those.
I feel a bit underdressed.
Me too. I'm in a t-shirt.
Well, the first question I have, it doesn't really pertain to movies, but I was wondering if is it difficult being a reporter now in the era of fake news, assuming that that's a real deal?
Yes and no, because I feel like a lot of people nobody wants to know the facts anymore. I hate to say nobody wants to know the facts anymore,
Yeah.
but a lot more people than it used to be. They don't care what's true or what's not. They only care about what, sort of feeds their
Okay.
base, their bias, and they kind of just stay in their own lane. I feel like with local news, you can sort of, step away from the national spotlight, which is nice, and kind of just focus on whatever story you're covering. So I feel like covering a local story is a lot easier than, let's say, covering a national story with politics where, it involves the president or anything else like that, involving Congress. When you're covering a local smash and grab, there are only a few things.
There's not a lot of slant on that.
Right, exactly. Right. You get to the scene, you find out what police say, you try to get surveillance video, and you're on TV, and you got to just kind of go down the facts from what you know, because obviously you didn't see it.
Yeah.
So I feel like you can really stay away from that. And the people that follow you and that watch local news are the people that really do want to know what's true and what's right. And I really do appreciate that. And it's something that I found out, because when I was going through school, I really was like, I want to go network. I want to be on NBC Nightly News. That's what I want to do. But since I've been in local news, I've kind of realized that it's a lot more rewarding. You get your audience, you get the people that respond to you. You can interact with those people on a
It's
daily
actually a
basis.
service to those people.
Exactly.
Whereas maybe more national news, you're kind of feeding people's preconceived notions or things that you're not relating directly to a people group.
Right.
Whereas
And they don't get to know you on TV, really.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
they see you. Of course, they'll know Lester Holt and they'll know, David Muir, the anchors. But as a correspondent, if you're not making the cut every night on Nightly News or CBS Evening News or ABC World News, then you're not really getting that recognition. You're not really getting that one-on-one. When you're out here in Conroe and you're reporting on the street and you're talking to real people, that's the interaction that I really like.
Okay. Well, cool. So you think that a lot of people, or on the bigger scale, national news, it's almost like that term echo chamber, where you just want to live in a world where you hear the things that support what you already believe.
Exactly.
But on the local news, you get to kind of be maybe more of an impactor than you would on a larger scale.
The way I always looked at it was the local reporters are looking for the news, they're looking for the story. The bigger news, or they just let the stories come to them, and then they shape it themselves.
Okay, so it kind of works its way up to the bigger platforms then maybe.
Because you think Lester Holt's really like taking the time going down on the street and doing stuff like that?
He does.
I don't know.
I think someone comes in and is like, hey, you need to go here. You need to talk to
Well,
these people.
maybe
And,
so.
like, it's not Lester.
Yeah.
Right, but when Lester comes to, let's say,
We can
'cause he-
trash
'cause he-
Lester all we want.
No, we can't.
No, we can't.
He came to Houston. He
Yeah.
came to Houston and he
did.
anchored here, and he was on our air too, on our local newscast too. And I feel that, yes, they do say, Lester, the producers, we got to go here, we got to go wherever, and field anchor, whether it's Las Vegas or Newtown, Connecticut, wherever the big story is, he'll go and then he'll be on the ground and he'll do pieces when he's there. And so that's that local news person in him, because we all came from it. Some one way or another, you come up through the ranks doing local news, you cut your teeth in a market that maybe not a lot of people are in. You can make your mistakes there, and then you move up the chain. The mistakes, they get bigger once you make them.
Yeah.
So once you get to this level, you kind of be on your game.
That's
right.
one thing I did want to ask you. You were at a station in California, and then you made the jump to over here. Why did you choose Houston over the other markets you could have gone to?
Well, I started in Salinas, California, which is this really small market, 125, and I shot all my own video. I edited all my own video. I set up my own live shots, and it was one-man band, and I did 2 stories a day. So it was a real crash course, because I had never done anything like that coming out of college. And so I got right in there. I did that. I anchored there as well. So I was there for about 2.5 years. And by the time I was done, I realized that, I wanted to move on to a larger market. And I was looking basically all around the country. While I was working in Salinas, on my off days, on Mondays and Tuesdays, I would fly out to a new city, interview there, come back on Tuesday, and then Wednesday I'd go back to work. So it was a really
that's brutal.
long process. Houston came into the picture a lot later. It wasn't like I set out to come to Houston, but it came along. I'm represented by an agency, and so they found Houston late in the game, and I was choosing between 2 other cities, and I didn't really want to go to those other cities. But when they said that Houston was calling, I was like, oh wow, that's big time. That's top 10. And when you're a young up and coming journalist, you're thinking, oh, I want to go to the biggest market possible. And if I could make that jump, that would be really cool. And so I came to Houston and I interviewed here, and I thought the interview went well. The news director at the time said that she had someone that she had to interview after me. And my agent went back to her and said, look, we have to give these other cities an answer, because they're wanting to know. We want to come to Houston. That's our number one. That's where we want to be. And she said, okay, well, we'll take him then. And she canceled the other interview. I don't know who that guy is.
Wow.
Some poor guy out there wandering around the streets.
I apologize
unemployed.
to whoever he is, but sorry, not sorry, I guess.
Or her.
Or her. Yeah.
Come on,
or
guys.
her.
It was a guy.
Okay.
I know
then
that for
him.
sure.
Well, then
All right.
screw him. Okay?
But speaking of Channel 2, who's your favorite person to work with over there? Because I'm a huge fan of that channel.
Let me guess, all of them equally, right?
I have
There's
my
gotta be
favorites.
one.
I have
There's
my
gotta be
favorites.
one.
I'd say my best friend there is probably Brandon Walker.
Okay, yeah.
He's the nightside reporter, Wednesday through Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
He's on the 10 o'clock. Another one of my favorites is Sophia Ojeda,
Oh, yeah.
who is an anchor and reporter there.
He's
He-
making fun of me because I know these people and he doesn't.
Of course,
Yeah.
these are
Yeah.
all our friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as I know. And Anusha Rasta, who just left, I was really good friends with her. But honestly, I'm friendly with everyone there. They're all really great.
See, I like you and I like Bill Spencer because he reminds me of David Hasselhoff.
Yes.
But like in a good way.
I love Bill Spencer.
What do you mean a good way? What's wrong with David Hasselhoff?
Well, there's not, he's got some stuff.
You ever seen him eat a cheeseburger?
no.
Yeah.
You should check it out.
That's the
online.
part that he doesn't have. He has the good parts.
Bill Spencer, he started that Spencer Solves It
Yeah.
segment,
Yep.
which is really great, I think.
He's the Booyah guy, if you don't.
Oh, okay.
that's him.
Yeah, now I'm back. All right. Well, cool. Well, let's talk a little bit about your life. I want to know a little more about you, Jake. So tell us a little bit about kind of coming up, born, raised, all that kind of stuff. You're from California, you already said, or you're living there before.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of catch us up on your life story.
Well, I grew up in Southern California, Santa Monica, Brentwood area, and I was there for about 18 years of my life. I grew up a Dodgers fan. I grew up
Sorry about that, by the way.
It's okay. It went 7 games.
It did. It was
all
a
you
good
can
series.
ask for.
Yeah.
I grew up a movie fan, obviously coming from the family that I've come from, and a lot of people ask me, what is it like to grow up with a famous father, famous grandfather, and I tell them I've never known anything else.
Yeah.
So to me, it was just like dad and
He's
grandpa
just going to work.
just going to work, and at home he was just like any other dad, and he's a great father. I love him. Great grandfather as well. My grandfather is. And growing up, I just didn't know anything else. So I hung out on movie sets, and I watched a lot of movies, and I grew up loving LA. That's where my heart is. I apologize to all the Houstonians out there, but
it's okay.
that is where my heart is, Los Angeles, and I go back quite often. So I spent, all the way through the end of high school there, and then I wanted to go into broadcasting. My idol growing up was Vince Scully,
Oh, yeah.
the voice of the Dodgers.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that I wanted to do something with that. I love baseball; it's my favorite sport. And growing up, my dad and we went on a baseball trip, and we covered all the ballparks. So we'd
On one trip?
No.
Oh, okay.
Year after year.
Okay,
Each
man, that'd
summer
be a
we'd
big-
go. Each summer we'd go to 3 or 4 ballparks, and eventually we hit all of them. We have to go back to some of them because some of the cities that we went to got new ballparks.
Yeah.
So that was
Dallas, for instance, they're in the process of building a new one up in Arlington.
for the Rangers.
Yeah.
Yes. So I've been to that ballpark there. Got to go back. Got to go back to Atlanta. Got to go back to Miami and Minnesota. That was an awesome experience because I'm a baseball lover, and it was heaven every summer. So when I was going to choose for colleges, I actually wanted to go either into acting or into broadcasting. And I chose broadcasting because I went into an audition at NYU for the Tisch School, and I didn't make it. And I said, well, if I can't make it there, then that's it. It was sort of like an easy decision for me. I don't know why it was like one and done. That was the only one I applied to for acting, but it made my decision a little easier to be like, all right, I'm going to go to Syracuse University and study broadcasting there. And when I went to Syracuse, I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. I knew that I wanted to do sports, but it was sort of like, do I want to do play-by-play? Do I want to do more of like a sports center type of thing? I didn't really know, but I knew that I wanted to do sports. But as I spent my time there, all the classes that I took were based around there was a news template to everything. So all the lessons we learned, all the stories we learned about were through how you cover a news story. And that to me really kind of struck me because it was like every single day, you never know where you're going to be. You never know what you're going to cover. And I knew that my passion for sports would eventually come into play because a lot of the time sports and news, they cross over. And so I knew that I would get the opportunity to cover sports doing news. So it was more of a strategic thing than anything, but I never really watched the news growing up until I got to Syracuse. And that's when I kind of became a news junkie. I would watch all 3 of the national broadcasts, ABC, CBS, and NBC. And I'd compare them, which station, which network was covering which story and which anchors I liked and reporters I liked. And that to me made the decision kind of clear for me. And so when I made it through college, I did the, anchored on the student run news station called Citrus TV.
Yep.
It was really cool because it was an actual news station and it broadcast throughout the campus, which I thought was awesome. But it was that introduction to local news that was kind of like, all right, I think I found what I want to do. And that's why I chose to stick with news. And I was basically pushing all my material out there, and I found a place in California. I will admit, though, a lot of college students, they're trying to get their reels together. And I often talk with, whoever, if we have interns at the station and they ask, what do you put together for a reel? I went out with my friend who is also a reporter. He works in Boston now. But we went out and we shot stand-ups throughout the whole campus, and we made every one of them up. Not one of them was actually from an actual news story.
Okay.
So I researched, we went bowling one time. I researched how many calories can you burn from bowling for an hour, and actually gave me a number. It was like 60 calories or whatever it was.
Yeah, it can't be much.
Right.
Everybody who bowls is really fat, so it can't be
and
a whole
so
lot.
they filmed me and I said, health experts say that if you bowl for an hour, you burn about 60 calories. And I threw the ball down the lane.
Yeah.
And a lot of the interviews that I did for news stations, they asked me, so where's that story? I want to see that story. And I was like, oh, I don't know where it is. I just like to stand up from it. I don't know where the story is. Sorry. But yeah, I made up every one. So
that's funny.
So you do improv down at the Station Theater in Houston?
Yeah, down at Houston on Houston Avenue near 45.
Yes, I wasn't aware of that theater before doing some research on it. It looks
I've
like a
actually
really
been
cool
there.
place.
I've been there a
he's
couple
been
times.
You been there?
Yeah.
I've been there to watch. It was probably about a year ago, and I keep telling myself I need to go back. And I just how things go. But I've been there to watch. It was like an improv night where they had some of the troops, I guess, get up and do some stuff. It was really cool. It's small. It's really
Like black box theater.
Exactly. It's small, but you're right there. I think it was like donation was the ticket fee, maybe like you just brought, $10 or whatever you wanted to give, but it was fun. It was a fun night. So are you in a troupe there, or what do you do?
I'm in several troupes. I started out taking classes there because I knew that I needed to do something other than just doing news, going to work and coming home. So I chose to do improv because I'd always loved doing theater in high school. And I started taking classes there, and the classes work where you go once a week for 8 weeks. And at the end of the 8th week, you do a recital. And there are 5 levels, and they model their classes after UCB, which is Upright Citizens Brigade. And they kind of follow that long form improv style, which is really great. And so by the time you get to the end, you can start to join troops, and you meet a lot of different people there, and you get to see who you like to play with and who works well together, and you kind of form troops. So I've formed a couple of troops. I've joined a couple of troops, but I am nearing the end of a run right now with this group called Supernova, which performs each Friday at 8:30. And it's cool. We bring on a guest and we interview them. So if you guys would want to volunteer, we can interview you.
We're not funny, but we'll try to,
Right, we'll handle the funny part.
Oh, okay, perfect.
You don't have to do anything.
Okay.
So
Well, then I'd be perfect for
Chris,
that.
right up your
exactly.
alley.
You come dressed like this, it's perfect.
Yeah.
We bring you on stage and we interview you, and based on what you say, if you have any crazy stories or anything that you say, we're picking up on certain things on the side. And once you're done, we come on stage and we improvise based on whatever stories you told.
Cool. All right. Well, great. So what else we got, Chris? Do we have anything else for?
One thing I love, kind of staying on the improv thing. I really liked your coverage of Snow Day 2017.
Oh, you watched
Yeah,
that?
I did watch in the morning. I thought it was really cool when you did the Chicago accent with Owen back and forth.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, I really want to see more of that because you kind of cut loose on there. I mean, you can't do it when you're covering a murder, obviously, but something.
It's a little poor
You know
form,
what I mean?
right?
Yeah, it's a little. I would
Get
say.
out of here.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
So you
Right.
want him to do some accents? Is that what you're saying?
Well, he does a wonderful impression of President Obama. If I could get you to do that.
Let me be
for him.
clear. It's not as good now that he's not in office, but I used to watch him all the time and kind of mirror him because he has such a great way of speaking.
Yeah.
But to answer your question about that, you can't really, like you said, do that on every story. But if it lends itself to it, it's Snow Day. It's snow in Texas.
Yeah.
That is a fun day in news because you get to play in the snow. You get to inform people about what's going on, tell them to be careful, drive safely. But then when you're doing that kind of coverage wall to wall, and we weren't really wall to wall, but we extended our coverage well into the Today Show. And so you kind of have to tap dance because once you go into wall to wall, the producers kind of throw the rundown out the window. And it's like, okay, what do you got? Well, where are you? What's behind you? Can you give me a live shot? Can you get out there in front of the camera? And so when you're talking about that thing where I did the Midwestern accent, it looked to me where I was, it looked to me like I was on some stretch of road like in a Syracuse, New York, or a Fargo, North Dakota. You know, it was this like barren stretch of just snowy road, and I don't know what came over me, but I just started doing the whole thing in this accent. And I was like, you know, you got to be careful out there when you're driving. You're going to slip slide all over that road. And I'll tell you what, you look down this road, it looks like you're going into Fargo, North Dakota. And I don't know why I did it the rest of the live shot, but I thought, well, I've committed to it, so I might as well do it.
Here I am. Better keep going.
Right. And then the back and forth with Owen was great because he's really good at ad-libbing and having a fun time. So I knew that if I were to kind of toss it to him, he'd have something funny to say too.
Well, we're about to have to run to break. I do want to, real quick, what do you do when you're interviewing somebody and it's a person that is maybe a little bit out there? And I don't want to say anything too much, but I was watching one of your interviews with the Thai washboard guy on America's Got Talent. He's the nicest guy in the world, a little bit of a weird talent. Like, how do you stay, I don't know, like when it's someone who's maybe a little outside the box from normal, how do you handle that professionally? I mean, because I know you need to, you know, you're trying to keep it at a certain level, right? So what are some things that you do to try to always bring it to a positive spin where it doesn't look ever like it's anything, you know, negative or derogatory or anything like that?
The trick for the live interview is to pre-interview them. So I went around the room and I talked to several people, kind of get their thoughts on who they were, what their talent was, what they were going to audition with. And with meeting with that guy, I knew that he took himself very seriously. Yeah. Had he taken himself any less seriously or kind of was making fun of himself, you kind of get that idea, okay, I know I can have a little fun with him, because not every day you see a guy that has a washboard tie and that plays it and then, you know, bangs a couple of spoons on his cheeks. It's not something you see every day.
Correct.
But I knew that he took himself seriously and that he was really passionate, and he had auditioned 6 previous times for America's Got Talent. So in that instance, you take it as serious as you've ever taken an interview.
So you kind of match his tone. Whatever his tone is, you kind of bring the same thing.
Right. And you get and you react honestly. I was honestly excited when he started doing that. It was bizarre. Yeah. But it sounded cool, and you kind of understand that when you're at that sort of venue that you're going to get those characters.
Yeah.
And for him, this guy was passionate about this, and he was determined. This was the 7th time he was going to audition, so he better get it or else, or I don't know what else, but he was determined. So he took it seriously. I had to take it seriously, but we also had fun as well, because you don't want to make the person feel like they're dumb or stupid, you know?
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, hey, we've got to run to break. When we come back, we're going to...
Cool.
Okay, cool. Yeah, thanks, Dick, for chiming in. You tuned back in. That's something
I'm getting its inside joke now.
Yeah. All right. Well, when we come back...
Maybe you can fill me in at some point.
Yeah, we're going to do a rewind when we come back, and we're going to spend some time playing a game called Review Roulette. So stick with us here. We've got Jake in studio, Jake Reiner on the Ticket Stub.
Remember to download the Lone Star Community Radio app from your Google Play Apple Store. Bring Montgomery County's community radio with you anywhere with your smartphone or tablet. If you are in the Conroe area, tune in on FM 104.5, 106.1. If you are on your computer, bookmark irlonestar.com as your internet radio station. Lone Star Community Radio, broadcasting 24/7 from the heart of downtown Conroe, Texas.
Hey guys, I'm Joey Savage.
Corey DLG.
We are Nerd Thug Radio. Catch us every Monday from 1 to 3 and check out our website, nerdthugradio.com.
We like to talk about quilting, horseback riding, and baking quiche.
Actually, we don't, but we do like talking nerdy to you.
That's right. Every Monday from 1 to 3 p.m., hashtag talking nerdy to you.
Let's begin now.
All right, we're back here on the Ticket Stub. Connor, Dick, and Chris in studio. We still have our special guest, Jake Reiner. Want to remind everybody that we are live every Thursday on 104.5 and 106.1 FM. Playing live. You can also hear us on www.irlonestar.com. And you can also find all of our social media plugs on irlonestar.com/TTS. Make sure you're liking liking all the social media, subscribing to the podcast. We had a great first segment of the show, interviewing with Jake. Really got to find out what it's like to be part of the news business, some of his story from growing up. Now we're just going to hop into movie talk, Jake. Hope you're all right with that.
I'm all right with that.
So what we do every week is we rewind movies, is what we call it. So we talk about a movie that we've seen. Usually it's from the last week, but you can talk about any movie that you've ever seen because you haven't been on the show before. So, we'll go ahead and throw it to Chris first. That way we can kind of get a feel for how we do it here,
Sure.
and we'll come to you after that. But Chris, what movie did you get to see this week?
Well, I watched Desperate Measures from 1997 with Michael Keaton and Andy Garcia.
Okay.
It's about Andy Garcia is this police officer who has a son who needs a bone marrow transplant.
I've never even. I don't know this movie.
And the only match for the bone marrow transplant is Michael Keaton, and he's this like convicted murderer in prison. So
when he gets his bone marrow, does he become like an evil killer as well?
no. So what he does is Michael Keaton uses this opportunity. He agrees to do it. He uses it to try to escape. So they take him to like this prison hospital. He does all these things to try to escape. It's really, really pretty cool movie.
How is Michael Keaton in that role as the bad? Because he's usually not a bad guy, but he kind of has like that look where he could maybe be.
Right, he's not, but he is so awesome in this movie as a bad guy. He rivals Jason Isaacs in The Patriot, like big time. That's my favorite bad guy.
Okay.
Well,
Okay,
it's
yeah,
an
of
odd
course.
choice. But
Yeah.
yeah. So he's great, but he's really small, and they try to make him look like he's got a lot of muscles and stuff. So there's
So they do it Tom Cruise all the time.
Yeah, and they give him like another 2 feet.
Yeah.
In prison, he's there working out, and they got him all like oiled up and everything. But it's like his
Is that your
posture
favorite scene?
in the way. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's why I remember it.
That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah. So no, he's just like working out, and they try to make him look like he has huge muscles and stuff. It's actually pretty funny. It has one of like the best movie goofs that I've seen in a long time.
Okay.
There's a scene where Andy Garcia is going to interrogate him in like a conference room, and he walks in, and the shot's like from floor to ceiling. You can see his shoes all the way up. So halfway through the scene, they show another top to bottom shot of him, and he's wearing like white sneakers instead.
Totally different.
Yeah, totally different. It's so funny.
Some continuity person got fired for that, probably.
Yeah, definitely. But the movie's great. I think it's got a 17% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh,
but you know
must
I
be
like
good.
movies like
Yeah,
that.
it must be really, really good.
Yeah, but I like it.
Hey, but anybody can make a review on Rotten Tomatoes, right, Dick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Thanks for the input. All right. Next up, Jake. What do you got to talk about today?
I will bring to the table Unforgettable is a movie that came out. I don't know when it came out, but it was awful. I had not that long of a time left on the airplane.
This is a newer movie with Rosario Dawson.
Rosario Dawson.
Yeah, it's saying 2017. So.
Oh, really? It was this year?
There you go.
Great. It was Rosario Dawson and Katherine Heigl.
Yeah, love her, right?
Love her.
Yeah.
Love the great cast. And then some other guy. I can't remember the guy's name.
Maybe Jeff Stoltz.
Yeah,
I'm looking at the
it's-
IMDb. I'm not like
some-
Jeff Stoltz.
Some guy that had no business being in the movie is my opinion. But I only had a few minutes left on a flight that I was on recently, and I decided to watch it because it had the least amount of time in the movie. Whatever.
Yeah.
And this movie is basically about Rosario Dawson and this guy. They move to a new part of California, and you find out at the beginning of the movie that she has this dark past from this ex-lover. She's got a restraining order against him because he was very violent with her. So she starts her new life with her new boyfriend. Now, the boyfriend has a dark past because Katherine Heigl is his ex-wife, and she gets kind of crazy because they have a daughter together, and so she brings the daughter over, and it's kind of awkward with Rosario Dawson. And then Katherine Heigl gets to be more and more obsessive. Well, you find out that the restraining order between Rosario Dawson and her ex expires.
Uh-oh.
And she needs to get it renewed. And so Katherine Heigl finds a way to get Rosario Dawson's phone, steals it from her, downloads her information. And it's one of those things in movies where you see something on a computer that you would like, it doesn't look like it would be like information from an iPhone. It looks very futuristic. And
you ever see the movie Swordfish when he's hacking? You know that part I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Anyways, it's
You
the
talking
dumbest-
about the hacking scene under the table hacking scene?
No.
Classic.
above
but
the
every
table.
hacking movie is someone typing furiously.
And nothing, what's happening? What are they
Nothing's
doing?
happening.
Yeah.
You could either be hacking something or booking a flight. I mean,
Exactly.
at the ticket counter. Anyway, so she downloads all this information and she creates a profile of Rosario Dawson because you find out in the beginning that Rosario Dawson, for some reason, doesn't like Facebook. So she doesn't have a Facebook profile. So she creates a Facebook profile and she starts messaging the ex, Rosario Dawson's ex.
Little catfish.
Basically like, I want you back. I miss you, blah, blah, blah.
She's trying to free up her ex-husband because she wants to get him back.
Right,
Okay.
exactly. And so the guy shows up out of nowhere, and he shows up and he's expecting Rosario Dawson to be into him, right? But he's so crazed that he starts just throwing her around the kitchen, and then she grabs a knife and stabs him in the leg. He falls to the ground. She runs out. Katherine Heigl happens to be outside. She comes into the kitchen, grabs the knife, and she said, "This was not the plan," or something like that, and like stabs him to the heart, and he's dead.
Okay, let me just say, this sounds like a bad movie, but you're making it sound really interesting.
Yeah, it is really.
It sounds like
Dick,
a
you would
heavily produced Lifetime movie.
Dick, you would like this movie, I think. Was this good?
No.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't sound good, but you're like the way you're describing it. I'm like, yeah, next. Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Well, I was getting into it because I was remembering all the scenes, but the acting is just terrible, and just the coincidences that happen in that type of movie for it to work. And
Dick, you need to watch this movie.
I know. I wanted to. When I saw the trailer, I knew exactly what it was. Like, it's like a Lifetime movie.
Right.
Just more money.
Yeah. Dick loves all the Hallmark Lifetime.
So I guess I won't tell you what happens at the end.
Yeah.
Please don't, because
I already told you that the ex dies, but that's not the big finale. There's a big fight scene between Rosario Dawson and Katherine.
Yeah, I
Heigl.
love some cat fights. Right?
Well, that sounds pretty amazing. So you watch this on an airplane. Recommendation would probably be avoid
it. I would say if you're in the mood to watch a bad movie, knowing full well that you're watching a bad movie, then go for it.
Well, then, Dick, that is your demographic. That's exactly what you love. All right, Dick, what did you watch this week, man?
I watched the 2012 Hallmark classic Baby's First Christmas.
See what we're saying, Jake?
Right.
Okay.
And the reason I wanted to watch this movie because Casper Van Dien was in it, Rico from Starship Troopers. I really like that guy, and I saw that he was in it, so I had to check it out. And plus, I like playing the beverage game with the Hallmark movies.
We did a Hallmark rewind last week, and there's a beverage game apparently that goes along, a drinking game.
Oh.
Where he.
So what's the game?
Oh,
there's a lot of things, like if there's fake snow, if there's someone
Jingle
baking
bells.
or something.
Oh, that's awesome.
If the main character experiences a new town tradition, because they're always new in town. And then you probably don't understand all of that about that being in Houston.
It makes me think of, because my grandfather is still really good friends with Mel Brooks, and the two of them watch movies together all the time. They, both of them lost their wives, so they kind of have each other, and they watch anything from Citizen Kane to Wall-E.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. They'll watch it, and they usually like movies that have the lines "Secure the perimeter."
Oh yeah.
If they have "Secure the perimeter" in there, if they have "You need to get some rest." is another one that they love, and I forget there's a couple other ones, but Secure the Perimeter and You Need to Get Some Rest. There's someone that they really like.
Well, this movie didn't have those.
Oh, bummer.
Oh, so you can't drink.
The perimeter is unsecure.
But those who are wondering about Hallmark, I guess the production value, the director and the writer have done 4 to 6 other Hallmark movies, so it's there.
Okay.
So if you really like that kind of stuff, they have that. My favorite thing about the movie is I watched it with Holly, and she goes, "This Casper Van Dien is clearly the better actor out of all these people." And it is. And if you're into the beverage game, it's not a very good beverage game because you pretty much are dry for about an hour, and then the last 20 minutes you're just drinking everything,
just pounding.
My favorite thing about the movie outside that actual plot wise, so the plot is Casper Van Dien and the other lady are lawyers together, and the opening scene is them basically talking about the ethics of a case. And of course, Casper plays the corporate lawyer, and she plays the nonprofit lawyer, and then they separate. Well, coincidence is both their siblings marry. So Casper's sister and then the other girl's brother, they end up marrying. So the plot of the movie is them trying to get to see the pregnant, or that she's pregnant, and see their niece, basically.
Do they fall in love?
Well, this is where it gets really interesting. So they arrive at the house. The baby's gone. They don't want them to come for the delivery. So it's like, you stay here and look after our daughter. And as they're snooping around the house, he's trying to watch some basketball game. The cable goes out.
Oh,
and he's like, I bet $200 on this game. And it turns out they haven't paid their cable bill in 3 months. And it turns out they haven't paid their mortgage in 4 months. And then it comes as they start going through the mail of their brother and sister. And they get to the bottom of the story. They're poor. He got fired. And so, of course, they're going to try to negotiate a better deal for their house. So the whole movie is them searching in New York for the bank, which turns out to be represented by, guess who?
I don't.
Casper's attorney or whatever the firm.
And
And this is what I don't get. They all blamed him for it.
Really?
Like the girl goes, "You're the one that's ruining their Christmas," and I'm like, "He's just a lawyer." That
No, they haven't paid their bills in 5
yeah,
months.
that's what he says. Like the whole movie, he's the voice of reason. Like, well, it's not my fault he hasn't paid their bills.
I feel like in a Hallmark movie, being the voice of reason doesn't win you any points, though, right? Because
No, clearly, like I'm not kidding. They accused him of basically stealing his sister's house,
Yeah.
and he's like, "I didn't even know they're representing this company."
So if you rank this with some of the other Hallmark movies that you've seen recently, is this better?
It was
or
probably
worse?
the better ones because for about an hour you didn't realize it was a Hallmark movie because the acting was actually a little better with
Yeah,
Casper.
you weren't able to drink
And
because they
then-
were actually like hitting the actual plot points.
Yes.
Wow, that's
And
pretty
then,
cool.
Later, and then it got real ridiculous.
All right, well, I went to see the movie Coco. It's in theaters now. It's animated. I won't talk too much, but these animated movies, they're for kids or whatever. But if you get down and actually watch them, they're usually pretty good. And this is another one that I think was good. Had a couple turns I didn't expect. Got a little dusty in the theaters there towards the end. But yeah, it gets a little emotional there at the end. The animation was really good looking, and what I appreciated was this was, I don't know, you're talking about kind of how most movies are geared maybe towards a wider audience, if I can just say that. This was something that was all about Hispanic culture, right? It was the Day of the Dead and everything like that. I feel like probably not a ton of movies that big scale, mainstream movies that go into that kind of a thing. It was interesting to see that stuff. I don't really know very much about the Day of the Dead, if I'm being totally honest. And so it was just, I don't know. Overall, it was good. I thought it was really good. If you have kids, they're going to love it. Otherwise, if you could check it out if you like.
Was this a movie you went by yourself? Or?
No. I have done that before. I have gone to animated movies by myself because I'm a creeper. No, but I've got a girlfriend who's got 2 kids, and so we went together. And
That's
saw
a good
it.
cover.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
yeah.
a win-win right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, one time I bought I'll take 1 ticket to whatever, to Finding Dory or
Hey,
something.
I saw the Emoji Movie by myself.
Did you?
So
He
let's be real.
Chris, do y'all flag people in the theaters? Like if someone's like, what if like the sketchiest looking dude in the world walked up and was like, "I'll take 1 for Coco."
Yes, I sure do.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
You judge everyone, probably.
Well, I did too. Well, I can't. I gotta be careful what I say. But
Yeah.
No, weird people we look out for. I'm sure.
No,
Going to a kids movie. Yeah.
He's sitting in the back. Is the money good?
Yeah.
Put him in.
Did their card go through? All right, we're good. Okay, we want to remind everybody that we're here on the Ticket Stub. You can listen every Thursday at noon. We're going to go ahead and transition now into our game of Review Roulette. So, Chris, you put this together, and I think me, Dick, and Jake are...
Whoa! What's the blue card situation here?
He's a game show host.
Are we upscaling this?
Look, every time I see somebody on television, they use blue cards, and I don't know why.
Okay.
So I didn't do that research, but I just made my own blue cards, and so hopefully it'll look good.
I bet there's some studies saying that it's easier to read blue.
Yeah. It's
What
easy.
is it when you paste a white page on top of it? Probably like
It's called
I've
arts
done.
and crafts.
Yes. So
All right, so explain the game to us, Chris.
this is movie roulette. I'm gonna give you I forget how many questions it is, but I'm gonna read a bad movie review, and then I'm gonna give you 3 choices of which movie it is, and if you get it right, you get a point.
All right. Are you going to keep score for us?
I am gonna keep score.
Okay, so it's a review for a negative review for a movie.
Yep.
And we're trying
And
to
is-
figure out what the movie was.
Is this something that we have to like buzz in or like?
No,
We all get to guess.
everybody
Okay.
guesses.
Yeah.
All right.
And so there's 3 options, and you said that we played this once before, like maybe a month or so ago.
Yeah.
You said this is going to be a harder version.
This is it's a much harder version.
Oh, good.
Oh, great. We're all going to get 0 probably.
Just to let you guys know, I didn't listen to any of that, so I'm gonna learn this game.
We
as
played it
play.
already
You,
before.
you already played it.
It's the
Well,
negative.
then I should be able to remember
here
the
we go.
rules.
Okay.
All right, so let's get started.
All right, this is review number 1. Tonally bizarre, lazily performed, and deeply unfunny. Was it A?
The Ticket Stub podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Was it A, Just Getting Started, B, Freddy Got Fingered, or C, Mr. Deeds?
Oh man.
Oh, that's totally B.
No, it's Mr. Deeds. Tonally unfunny. I'm saying Mr. Deeds.
I'm gonna go with C, Mr. Deeds.
Oh, B. Freddy Got Fingered.
Okay, it is actually A, so no one gets a point. That is Just Getting Started.
What is? I don't
It
know.
just came out. It came out last week.
What is it called?
Just Getting Started.
Who's in it?
Tommy Lee Jones and Morgan. It's not Morgan Freeman.
Oh, is it about the old people?
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah.
About the old folks home.
Oh, it's like
Yeah.
every year they have to make like a movie about old guys who are like
Tonally unfun. Oh yeah, because yeah.
like one more.
Your
go
dad
around the sun.
directed it. I'm just kidding. He didn't.
Oh,
Got you good.
I don't know why that got me. Because that was the worst. That was awful. I apologize.
all right.
All right, question 2. A painfully derivative movie that exhibits all the worst characteristics of sequels.
Okay.
Is it A, Daddy's Home 2? Is it B, 103 Dalmatians? Or C, Pitch Perfect 2?
B.
I'm gonna go with A.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Daddy's Home because you watched that one and you liked it and you're mad that everybody hates it.
I'm going down.
Actually, hold on. Can I change it?
Oh, shoot.
Can I change my guess? Sure. No, I'm going to go Pitch Perfect then because we already. Okay, I'm changing it.
It is actually B, 103 Dalmatians.
Wow.
So, yeah. So, Dick gets a point.
All right, so it's
right.
It's 0-0 to 1.
You know I'm not going to say anything bad about Daddy's Home.
That's
too.
that's why I had to change. That's why I had
Yeah.
to switch it. Yeah, you love that.
I do like that one.
I wish I knew that information.
Well, you got to be a stubby.
That's right. Yeah, we call our
Yeah.
listeners stubbies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they know that I have a simple mind. So, okay, question 3 is good acting, shot making, and a charismatic lead role alone won't grant you a pass to Kubrick country, nor even Costner country.
Wow, that's a pretentious review.
Yeah, is it A, Braveheart, B, Star Wars: The Force Awakens, or C, Star Trek: The Motion Picture?
I'm going to say Braveheart.
Yeah, I'm going to say Braveheart too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Braveheart.
well.
That is correct. Everybody gets a point.
Well, great. Thanks, guys. Thanks for just doing exactly what I did. The one
Well,
time I got it
the
right.
other two didn't make any sense.
Well,
No.
they made less sense. Yeah, that one. It's okay, Chris. You tried hard. It's hard to make
Well,
these
there had to
games
be,
up. I
there had to be
understand.
one easy one. Huh? Okay. Question whatever. I don't remember what order we're on.
Okay.
This is a film of uneven performances and strange decisions.
Okay.
Is it A, Kill Bill, B, Hateful Eight, or C, Pulp Fiction? Which, to be honest, you could say this about any one of his movies.
Yeah, you're.
I'm going to say Kill Bill.
Yeah, I'm Hateful Eight.
Hateful Eight.
It is Hateful Eight.
Oh.
All right. Yes. Okay. So me and Dick are tied.
No, I have one more, bro.
Yeah, Dick's ahead
Okay.
by
I
one.
get it.
All right. My bad.
All right. 2 questions left. At first, a great deal happens. Then nothing much happens for quite some time. Then something so underwhelming happens that no one is left wondering, did that just really happen?
Passion of the Christ.
Oh gosh.
No, I was kidding.
This is the worst review I've ever heard.
Is it A, The Happening,
Okay.
B, E.T., or C, Battlefield Earth?
Ooh, A. I mean, ooh, man. A. I got to go with A.
I gotta say A just because it's the name Happening, and they said the word happens.
I'm going to go C.
It is A, The Happening.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
See, Jake, you gotta, Chris, again, simple man, simple mind. So you gotta, if it says happen, there we go.
Yeah.
Or you could see the movie The Happening and completely understand where this critic's
Well,
coming from.
I avoided that one.
I knew it wasn't E.T.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind
E.T.'s
of
great.
a wild card there.
All right. Do we have a couple left here?
This is the last question. So you can tie if you get it and Dick doesn't.
All right.
All right. Okay. This is from Roger Ebert.
Make it worth 2 so I can win.
No, we're not playing that. That's
All right, fine.
It's from Roger Ebert. I hated this movie. hated this movie. Hated it.
How do you feel?
Is it A, Starship Troopers, B, The Room, or C, North?
oh, it's
So sorry.
it's B.
I really hope it's not North.
It's got to be. It's
It's
got to
B.
be The Room.
It's The Room.
got to be The Room.
I'm going to go with The Room.
What was yours?
Well, actually, if Dick goes B, I got to go something else so I can tie. Are you going B?
I'm gonna go C.
All right, then I'm going B.
It is C, North.
Oh, my
Yeah,
God.
so sorry.
because he never reviewed The Room.
Oh, he didn't? Oh, I guess it's
That's how I knew it.
Have you seen North? Can I just say, has anyone here seen North?
Is that
I
the one
have
where they
not seen
crash and they're like eating each other and stuff?
No,
No, it's Elijah Wood and
No, I have not seen North.
North, well, it's directed by Rob Reiner.
Okay.
North is a.
Oh yes.
North has one of the best casts I've ever. It's got everybody in that cast. You got Bruce Willis, Dan Aykroyd, Reba McEntire, Jason Alexander, Julia Louis-Dreyfus,
Yeah,
John Lovitz.
And Bruce Willis dressed up as a bunny.
Right. And Elijah Wood is the kid, and he wishes that he had different parents, and he falls asleep in the mall, and he has this big dream of all the parents that he could get, and he goes and he basically auditions with each set of parents.
Okay.
And it's a fun movie.
Yeah.
It's a really fun
You
movie.
don't have to defend your dad.
But Rod Ebert did not agree.
Robert Ebert did not agree.
Well, he's a jerk anyways.
There's actually a whole segment in the Wikipedia article about the movie that's dedicated to Siskel and Ebert and their review.
Really?
Yeah.
But
So it must have been like a big deal when they said that.
I guess.
It wasn't a great movie, so to speak, but you'll enjoy watching it.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Well, we talk, we like a lot of movies that are in that category for sure. All right.
Speaking of that, I just want to say, I looked it up, and you're.
I won the game, by the way. Is no
Yes,
one,
you
is
did.
no
Yeah,
one going
we
to
always have to
congratulate
clap.
me?
That's what I was trying to
You
wrap.
always do that.
I was trying to bring it back to you winning.
What do I win?
Nothing. Pride.
Yeah.
Man, this
great.
These games suck. We have cards and everything, and there's not even a prize.
You're the worst winner, man. Every time you win, you just complain and moan about how no one's giving you enough credit for winning.
Well, yeah, because y'all don't give me enough credit.
Well, I don't know. What are you gonna say? Sorry,
Well,
back
yeah.
to you, Chris.
Well, one thing I was looking at when we were doing research is that your dad's movies have made $679 million total.
Really?
Yeah, that's over $500 million, and that's unadjusted. So really, it's more than that. I mean, that's amazing.
That's a lot. It's like
Yeah.
one Fast and Furious at this point.
Yeah. My favorite. Yeah, well,
Not to
really,
just credit
though.
your dad's accomplishments,
No,
but
that's still awesome.
yeah, that's a lot of money. That's cool.
And my favorite movie of his is Ghost of Mississippi. I really like that one. Do you have a favorite one that he's done?
I like Ghost of Mississippi. I think my favorite is A Few Good Men.
Yeah, that's a great one.
That has one of the most iconic scenes, right? I mean, that courtroom scene there at the end of A Few Good Men. It's so memorable in so many ways, and just I don't know. Jack Nicholson's awesome. I mean, he's amazing. But I mean, Princess Bride. I mean, right? What year was Princess Bride made? I should probably
30 years ago.
Okay.
This year.
Wow, 30 years ago. Okay, so I mean that was before you, I guess. But I mean, as far as your dad goes, when he look, or for you as a family, when y'all look back, are there ones? I mean, is it weird to look back on like your family work and say like, oh, well, this is better than that? Is there one that kind of comes up more often, or one that's kind of generally liked by the family, kind of a thing?
We watched Princess Bride a million times, especially my brother when we were little, and you could watch something over and over again. That was the one movie that we kept watching over and over again. And something that my brother and I like to do is we'll pick up on lines in the movie that aren't iconic at all, but they'll be inside jokes.
Like for your family, they were meaningful.
Exactly.
Okay, that's cool.
So Princess Bride would be one of them.
And you did a movie, Being Charlie, which was written by your brother.
Right.
And Carrie Elways is in that, and he was in
Yes.
Princess Bride. And that was your scene with Carrie Elways.
I got to act with Carrie Elwes.
That's
That
so
was
cool, though.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
I played a reporter. My brother, Nick Reiner, he wrote the movie called Being Charlie. Came out in 2015, and my brother has been in and out of rehab for years and years. And so he and his friend that he also met at a rehab facility, they wrote this movie together as a sort of a collaboration of different stories and experiences that they had, and they made it into a fictional story. But a lot of the things that happened to them or that they witnessed are real things in the movie. And so I played a reporter because the premise is that Carrie Elwes is the father of this kid who is a drug addict, and he is an actor who decides to run for governor, which is something kind of mirroring what my dad was considering at one point in California. And I interview him about Charlie, his son, being somewhat of a burden for him on the campaign trail, which was a really interesting scene, and cool that I got to do it with him because, like you mentioned, growing up watching Princess Bride, like he was like the hero of all heroes for me growing up. He was the man in black.
Yeah. That's cool, man. That's really interesting. I'm sure you have a lot of really great experiences
Well,
like
let
that.
me ask him one more question.
go ahead.
I'm sorry, I know
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm wasting time.
No, you're
but
good.
Who's your favorite actor? Do you have one?
Favorite actor? Wow.
Is it you? Are you your favorite actor?
That would be a mistake. if I can channel my inner Robert Ebert. My favorite actor. I think it would have to be Jack Nicholson.
Yeah.
I
Have you
think.
gotten to meet him on occasion?
I did get to meet him. He was my dad did a movie called The Bucket List,
Yeah, that's a great movie.
and I met him on that.
One
set.
of those movies they have to make about old people, like Connor was talking about.
Yeah, about every year they make a movie like that.
Right, and the two of them, Jack Nicholson and Morgan Freeman, were really good in that movie.
Yeah.
One thing about Jack that I found was interesting, my dad told me, was that he actually has an earpiece in his ear, and he has a guy that's sort of offset reading him his lines as
wow.
they're doing the scene. And my dad was sort of dumbfounded because he thought, how can someone this brilliant of an actor stay focused in a scene with someone talking in their ear the whole time? I can barely do it when I'm on the air and there's some sort of feedback going in my earpiece. I can't imagine what it would be like to having the lines fed to you.
Well, also to hit it with inflection, to hit it with feeling, to hit it with all. I mean, all that stuff he brings to the table. How is he real time making that up? That's amazing.
Wait, I need that for this show.
Yeah.
I think.
Maybe he'd have some good things to say.
Well, I'd be interested if he actually uses it on every movie.
I don't know.
I don't know, but I know he used it on that one.
I wonder if it was just like maybe the more famous you get, you're like, I don't want to memorize.
Oh,
I
here's
don't wanna
another
memorize all this stuff.
interesting tidbit about the courtroom scene in A Few Good Men.
Okay.
My dad shot that from many different angles. Obviously, you have the different reactions of the different characters, Tom Cruise, Demi Moore, Kevin Bacon. Every single time Jack did that speech, You Can't Handle the Truth. He did that speech every single time the same way, even when the camera was not on him.
Really?
My dad would say, Jack, you don't have to do it. You're not on this shot. We have it on everyone. He's like, Rob, this is acting. This is what you pay me to do. I'm going to act. I love acting. And my dad was like, okay. So they did about, I don't know how many takes they did, 20, 30, who knows. He did it every single time the same way. And it was,
Wow.
and you see that the reaction in the room, because it's everyone's kind of in awe of what's going on.
That's awesome. Well, Jake, how can people find you? If listeners out there, Twitter, Facebook, is there what's the best way to keep up with what you're doing and where you're at?
Well, I have a Twitter, Jake KPRC2, and my Facebook page, KPRC2 Jake Reiner. And also, if you're up really early in the mornings, Wednesday through Friday, I'm on the air at 4:30 until 7 a.m., depending on what the story is, I'll be on the air. And then on the weekends, I'm on the air at 6 a.m. and 8 a.m., typically Saturday, Sunday.
All right. Well, everybody go find him on Twitter, Facebook. Make sure you're up set your alarms for 4:30 and make sure you're there watching.
If anybody actually sets their alarm to watch me, that's incredible.
Real quick, I got to know what his favorite movie is.
Okay,
If you
sorry.
have
Favorite
one.
movie.
If you have one.
Favorite movie, Shawshank Redemption.
Okay.
That's a great pick. Love Shawshank Redemption.
That's way too easy.
Too easy.
Too easy.
Well, it's a great movie.
Yeah. It's like everyone's favorite movie.
What's your favorite movie, Dick?
Oh, it's definitely Baby's First Christmas or the Baby's Christmas.
Whatever the last terrible movie you
Yeah,
watched.
whatever. Yeah.
Dick is totally that guy.
He
He's
is.
totally that guy that just is,
It only took you one episode to figure it out. Yeah,
Right.
we've been dealing
No,
with it.
reality.
and we all know who that guy is. It's Dick.
All right, well, we got to wrap
It's
this.
Commando.
Commando.
That's my favorite movie.
All right. Well, we got to wrap this thing up. Jake, thank you again for coming on. Thanks for taking time to be here with us today. Everybody, make sure you're go follow him on Twitter so you can keep up with where he's at. Watch him on the news, guys. We'll be back live next Thursday, and we'll have a great show for y'all then as well. Again, like and subscribe to all of our social media and everything like that. And hey man, and we will talk to you next time.
Thank you for checking out this production of Lone Star Community Radio. Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's community radio station. Don't forget to check out this show and many others across the Lone Star Community Radio Network, either live on Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, the Lone Star Internet Radio app, or irlonestar.com's live audio stream, and on replay on podcast, Channel 12's Our City TV in Conroe, or Channel 21 KVQT in Houston, and of course their YouTube channel. This production is copyrighted and all rights are reserved by Lone Star Community Radio. Have a question regarding this program or other Lone Star Community Radio shows? Want to sponsor or start your own show? Call the station message line at 936-647-3776 or email the station at lscrstudios@gmail.com.